So the message for today's video is be authentically you in your art. And I'm going to have fun flashing up some interesting comments one gets as someone exposing them and their processes to the world. But the thing that you'll notice as we sketch and draw and paint and have a bit of fun together is it doesn't matter what other people really think, because I'm here to enjoy my sketching and I'm here for you guys to enjoy your sketching. Now, that doesn't mean you have to sketch like me, but hopefully if you see me enjoying myself, not caring what other people think, you will find that space for yourself as well. And with that, let's start. We have this amazing broad landscape scene, and I'm going to just dive straight in. And, you know, anyone who's watching this video may well have seen my channel before, and you'll know I love my continuous lines. Now, something that I'm using today, which I don't always use on this channel, but I do use a fair amount, is soluble ink. So when I add my watercolors to this, everything is going to go a bit mad. And that's great. And there will be people saying, oh, this is rubbish, we shouldn't sketch like this, you know, that's not art and things like that. That's fine. That is a perfectly valid opinion. There's lots of very lovely art that I also do not like. I suppose saying it's not art is not really an opinion. That's them trying to apply objectivity to things. But, you know, everything else they're saying, they can say it's rubbish. That's fine. That's an opinion. And you know what? Sometimes what I create, I also think is total rubbish. But I have a lot of fun doing it. And, you know, the idea is that I can then take the stress off and I can accept, you know, this might be rubbish. This might well be rubbish when it's finished. Things are going to be inaccurate. Look, I've run out of space. I'm going to have to invent how this sort of landscape ends. And that's because I'm doing continuous line. It's because I'm waffling and basically just doing what I want to do today. I've done a lot of, let's call it hardcore sketching, you know, really doing a lot of recording, lots of important projects at the moment. And sometimes you've just got to do what you have got to do for yourself. So all I'm going to do now is build up in my little process here. I'm going to build up the kind of ideas. We've got these overlapping shapes, and I want to keep my continuous line going and let it kind of flow into the foreground here, and even just finish off my signature over there. And that's my quick line drawing done. That's all I personally feel the need to do. Now, often I'll jump in with my watercolors at this stage, but because we've used soluble ink, I need to control a few bits first. So I'm going to have a bit of paper and my brush. I'm going to just drag this ink around. And you can call it, this is a bit like when we activate our watercolor pencils, if we're ever using them. I personally, again, here's a personal thing. I don't really like how watercolor pencils look. I've never personally managed to get a satisfactory outcome from them. And there are artists who use them very well, of course, but it's still not my favourite medium, even when these amazing artists are using it. And that's fine. But, you know, that's my opinion. So it's fine for other people to have opinions about my art as well. You know, having opinions about how I deliver my art is also great. So, for example, I'm talking an awful lot right now. And that's fine. That's what I do. That's how I keep myself entertained. You know, if I'm not talking to myself, I'll be listening to an audiobook. I always seem to need some noise in the background. Many people comment saying they like that, and there's a few people who comment saying they hate it, and that's fine. So I guess I'm just trying to sell the message. This is not a cry for help from me. This is me trying to show you that, you know, this is me being me. This is what I want to do. And you should go and be confident and do, you know, what you want to do as well. And like that, I've splashed on my colours. Not my colours, I've splashed on my water, created a bit of tone, and it's time to splash on my colours. That's what I was trying to say. Now I'm going to just have fun again with my colours. So this is one of my favourite colours at the moment, Lavender by Daniel Smith. And because we've set a lot of that ink, some of that ink will now hopefully behave itself and stay still. Not all of it will, but some of it will. So we're going to get some nice clear watercolours, and we're going to get some a bit misty and musty from these addition as well, the addition of ink. I'm going to just find some really nice, fun, bright tones, and we can see reflections coming down. So I'm going to drag those colours down. Again, I get people telling me that my colours should be neater, that it doesn't make sense, that things shouldn't look like this. I agree, you know, this is not how life should look, but it is how I want to paint. So that's fine. It's absolutely fine that people disagree. 100% fine. The idea here is I'm sketching like this because this is the only way I'll sketch and be happy. And I'd rather do this and make it not as good as what some people would like it to be, but be doing it. And if I'm not doing it the way which I enjoy, if I'm trying to do it some other way, you know what, I won't be happy. And I do sometimes call my art beautiful, but I hope that's okay, because that's what I'm feeling at the time. That's my emotions about it at the time. But I'm never going to say I'm an amazing artist. I'm never going to pretend that you guys watching me are watching an absolute master at work. All I'm trying to do is get more people to have fun. And if that offends someone, that's on them. That's their problem. So you don't need to worry about it. This is a common boundary people need to feel the need rather to break. To get outside, for example, they feel that they'll be judged outside. And I don't really experience that. And I'm talking about even when I'm producing total rubbish outside. And sometimes even I can look at my thing and go, oh, that's not good. But even when I produce something, I'm just sort of cringing inside about people come over and they say something nice. These are people coming over, either they're artists, in which case, broadly speaking, they are aware of the difficulties and they're aware of the challenges, or they are normally people who don't do art at all and they don't have a clue. So even the nonsense you produce, they assume is some, you know, work of art in the absolute making. They are not there judging you. They don't really know. And if they do judge you, that just shows they don't really know. So it's fine. And it's easy to say that, I know, but if you can let yourself feel that, and I'm not saying I always feel like that, but if you can let yourself feel like that, then I assure you, you will get out and sketch more and have a lot of fun with it. All right, back to the painting process. What I'm doing at the moment is just layering up my colours, trying to find a little bit of depth and dimension in this. So trying to enhance some of those inky shadows now with a little bit of graphite grey watercolour. And also I think, you know, we've got little reds in places, little warmth in places, trying to drag these lovely reflections down. And you know what? I've got two brushes out, and what I'm going to do is go and grab another one. And here's a giant brush. So this giant brush, it's apparently a size 26 round brush. You know what? This sky is crying out for just a little bit of havoc, isn't it? It's crying out for a sort of stress relieving little bit of mayhem. So we'll use this giant brush, and that enables us to be super soft with our colours, super flexible, and just let them loop up. This is heavily based in lavender, isn't it? This whole scene, we've got all this lavender running through. So we might introduce a tiny bit of something else. Here's a tiny bit of ultramarine. That's for texture. And here's a tiny bit in the background of graphite grey, just to suggest some shadows and get a little bit of sort of unity with the other colours. And I'm going to let these colours now seep up as well. So if I connect my little roof to my my sky, there you go, got my word out eventually. If I come and find even, let's just add in a new colour. Let's add a little bit of green. Let's connect a bit of green in this tree. This tree doesn't exist, but I put it in there earlier as I was making up my own nonsense within the scene. And if I even just get a little bit of Mars yellow and a lot of water, now I've got my colours creating that havoc that I was promising myself. Now these things are for me. I'm looking at this and I'm excited. I'm seeing things move and I'm thinking, oh, that's fun. And I'm loving this. Doesn't mean that other people have to. And this is a loose and abstract style of sketching. It's just out there to have a little bit of fun. So if you want to do stuff like this, if this is what you enjoy doing, if this makes you happy, just do it. Just go out there and do it. Be authentically you. That is today's little message. I'm going to then come back in with my pen. This is soluble ink and this paper is wet. That's fine. We're going to therefore have some unpredictable, messy results. And for me, that unpredictability is going to make me a little bit more happy because I don't have to blame myself when it all goes wrong. And come down, just create some sort of suggestion of details amongst these watercolor shapes we've created. I sort of feel this scene is probably almost done. I'm just going to try and add a little bit more sort of chaos, confusion, bit of fun, reinvigorate my little initials down here and probably add a signature up there. Anything else though? Well, let's do some splashes. We can splash some ink in. That will give a different texture to normal. That ink will create a sort of more fluid texture than what you would normally get by splashing in watercolor. And I think we've got room for some bolder red, haven't we? I used to love touching in a bit of Scarlet Lake. I've actually removed that from my palette at the moment because I ran out of it and I fancy just trying something different. But instead I've got this lovely Pyrrole Scarlet, which is such a warm, deep, interesting colour that I'm not even missing. One of my long-time favourite colours. And lots of splashes up in the sky as well. And I'm going to call this one done. And we're going to call this Authentically You. If you enjoy this kind of process, do it. Go out and do it. And I welcome any comments, positive, negative, about my sketching, your sketching experiences, and what you'd like to see more of on this channel as well. Thank you for watching, thanks for engaging, and I'll see you in the next one. You might enjoy these videos as well. So thank you everyone for watching my little sketching videos. If you enjoy my content, please do subscribe to my channel because it makes me really, really happy. Thanks again.